Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a book review of Vanish by Ellery Kane. On the cover it says Ellery Kane, but on Goodreads and I believe NetGalley and maybe even Twitter it says Ellery A. Kane. Now, Ellery Kane was a new artist to me, but I got this book because I was asked, or invited actually, to host a blog tour for this book, which it went up today, which is Saturday, the 10th. Is today the 10th? Yes, Saturday the 10th. So today is my day to host the blog tour. So when I was writing the review, I thought, why not make a video of this? Because I want to write reviews. I want to do video reviews for books that really stand out to me. So this book is the first book in the Rockwell and Decker series. Now, there's two things that I like about this already. The first of all, it's a series book, which I adore series. I'm a series fanatic. That is a term you can freely use with me because that's who I am. But it's also the first book in the series, so I get to start off on the ground level. And a little bit about the backdrop of the book is criminal psychologist Olivia Rockwell was living away from home. She's in maybe, I think, a very early 30s, but at some time past, her mother became ill, and she moved back home to Fog Harbor, California, to take care of her sister, who now, at this point in Olivia's life, her sister is in her 20s. But Olivia now has a job, and she worries about the well-being of her sister and the decisions her sister makes, whether it's regarding school or relationships or what have you. So she stays in Fog Harbor, even though she's not quite happy there. Well, one night she hears the sound of a woman screaming. And when she hears the screaming, she instantly reacts. She doesn't think twice. And she gets up and she goes after the sound. And as she gets close to where it seemed that the sound emanated from, she sees the body of a dead woman. And the crime scene is a little bit staged to a degree. And Olivia, even though she's in the legal field and I'm sure works with police with her job at least from time to time, she forgets protocol and she approaches the crime scene. Well, not only does she get to the crime scene, but the police are called to the crime scene, and one person in particular is Detective Will Decker, and this will be his case. Well, he's furious that the crime scene might have been compromised. As a matter of fact, he says, "You are under the arrest. You have the right to," and he starts to proceed to arrest her because he's so angry that she might have tainted the crime scene. But somebody comes up, another of the officers, he says, "Don't you know who that is? That's the Dr. Olivia Rockwell. Are you serious? Are you sure?" So his ears pretty much turn red, and he's kind of embarrassed that he was aggressive, or not physically, but that he was bold towards the woman with threatening to arrest her for disturbing the crime scene. But he goes, "Well, you know what? Consider this a warning," and he lets her go. So as the case starts to be developed or investigated, it starts to point to a man named Drake that could possibly be the murderer. But how could that be? Because Drake is ensconced in a prison. He's behind bars. So why are the clues leading to Drake? Now, that's Will Decker's part of the investigation. But on the other side of the issue, Olivia actually works at the prison where Drake is, and her job is to counsel these violent offenders, and she works at the prison. She has an office there. She works with these prisoners. They're the worst sort of people, but that's her job. So now this brings these two, who started off at great odds, back in contact with each other, because it's pointing to Drake, the prisoner, and at the same time, Olivia works at the prison. So now Drake, I just hit the iPad, I'm sorry. So now Drake now Will and Olivia are forced to kind of come in contact with one another despite their rocky start as they approach the murder scene. So Olivia is determined to see the best in the situation and to prove Drake's innocence. Will is convinced that, yes, we know Drake is behind bars, but how far is his reach, and why is he, and I'm going to prove that he's connected with the murder. So they're at odds at this point, even more so. Well, there's another side to the story that starts to thread this case together, but as the other side of the story begins to be developed, another murder happens. Another body of a young woman is found. Now, here's where the thread starts to tie in together, and this is not going to be a spoiler. Is Olivia works at the prison. The body of the first woman, that woman, she worked at the prison, and the other murder that took place, she works at the prison. So the question is everything revolving around these women who are employed at the prison? So that's kind of a side story. There's yet another side story that involves other characters, but then if I get into that side story, it would indeed be a spoiler, so I won't do that. Now, I think the story was layered quite well because it laid the groundwork for a new series to be developed by the author Ellery Kane. So Olivia and Will, as you know, because the series is Rockwell and Decker #1, the first book in that series. So we know that Will and Olivia will be working together in the future. He's a detective. She's kind of an amateur detective, but it gets a little bit more than that with regard to her job. So as that starts to get sorted out, everything starts to thread together. And I think it turned out to be an excellent, excellent first book in the series. I gladly gave it 5 stars. I not only enjoyed Will and Olivia as characters, I also but I also got to be drawn into some of the side characters or the supporting characters in the series. So you have, like I said earlier, it's layered really, really well. Ellery Kane is a new name to me. I don't know how prolific she is or what have you, but I'm glad that I got this book for review, and I will definitely be reading the next book in the series. So that's it. Again, the name of the book is called Watch Her Vanish. This whole time I will have had the cover on the screen, so you're seeing the title. I will link the book in the description below should you want to grab a hold of it. It's been released. It was released on the 9th. As an Amazon affiliate, should you purchase the book, I will make a couple of pennies towards my Amazon account, but it will not affect your cost of the book. So, by the way, I have trouble looking directly at the camera. That's just something that I have to work on. So I'm not trying to be rude by looking around. It's just the way my nerves are working me. So that's it for now. I will be back with more soon. Bye-bye.